right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the carve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimao party is the place we flee for the friends we see in these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
The beach is golden here in Sardinia at the World Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Stefan Rapazzo. And Steph, it is hotting up metaphorically and literally today in the second day of play.
Yeah, most certainly. We've got that sun continues to rise just a little bit more, and it'll be beyond the tent line, which I might be excited about. But no, the stillness pushing away, a little bit of breeze coming in, but it really a little bit of breeze. This really allows some shape on the throws upcoming. And this game between Westcoast and Mountain Beachers poised to be a good one based on the conditions, based on what they've done thus far in this group. They've had a tough group against the two we just saw, Natsuo and Young Legend. So they've both taken some handy losses against those two, and will be looking to get it done here against one another. This is the win they'd love to carry through the group before the reshuffle into the Flower Power pools.
Indeed, we are in Pool B in front of us, and these two teams will be fighting out against the top of Pool C, which is Hurt and Rainbow Warriors. So another North American team in the form of Hurt, and of course a Swedish action. So this is all about trying to hustle and see if they can get themselves into the championship bracket. A win here, they can carry through to that power pool stage. Beaches with the disc on offense, spinning around to Asli Yaman, and a double plat look, or braids as you call them in North America, for Zinke. Low but well kept. Ackerman pops back. Big old poach off from the defense of Westcoast. And the pick will send us back. Persson probably not really eligible to put on as much of a stall from that far away. And you'll spot on the field the president of Bula herself, Sofia Pereira. Stall count starting to rise. Yaman required to receive low. Looking for the swing across. Oh, it's low, and it's unfortunately not connecting in the end zone. A little drop there. So Westcoast with their first break opportunity in the very first point. Pops back. Colby Smith up line. Much shorter roster for Westcoast. Didn't necessarily realise that they were required to bring female matching players, so had a couple of athletes step up to the oki. Oh, a beautiful high release, nearly over the tape. Just streaks through and receives not the assist, but the goal for Fredrik Hedström.
Yeah, good looking counterattack there by the Swedes, using the near sideline for all it was worth in the end there. Bounced off the middle, got away with a lucky turn of events on the no catch in the end zone there, just a little bit too low, made it a little too difficult. Really, the throw was not perfect going for goal, but great counter, good use of speed. The very last cut there, great separation by Hedström after his throw before. So Westcoast opening things up and looking sharp, looking strong.
And Westcoast having brought, of their, I think, 11 strong roster, 4 of them are female matching athletes. So they determined at the beginning of this championship that they'd play quite a few points with 2 female matching athletes on the line. And Mountain Beach is deciding to match up equally against it. But just the one in this particular point. Good trap on the far sideline, taking the negative yards though, happy to do so. That one quite high, and it's going to escape the grasp of Randy Prasser. And that's a quick turnover back though. Regaining possession, Cedric Pulsen. A little bit too much contact maybe there. A little discussion between Stauffer and Hedström. No, in fact, it's not. Oh, no, it is. There we go. It's back in their hands. It's not Hedström, sorry, it's Helen. Solid upline cutting, a little bit undercooked on the throw, but Pulsen happy to slide around in the sand. Difficult catch under coverage for Taylor. As I think about that inside shot, there's Thomas Stauffer. Big reaching gainer, hits that break side immediately, but unfortunately a miss in the end zone. That's a second opportunity for Mountain Beaches that they've just not quite been able to convert.
Yeah, that one looked like it was good. The throw seemed to be on, by my perspective, maybe a little bit outside, but catchable, kind of broke through the hands there. And that gives another chance for a break here for Westcoast.
Slinky inside break all across the sand. Now Tommy Blom has a little think about a deep shot. But there's a big old poach off to be exploited on the underneath to Komsko. Nice dishing and going. Oh, that is a beautiful put. Plenty of space for the defense to make a play though, and he does. Kenneth Taylor coming in and denying that one.
A great block there by Kenneth Taylor. Got up in the nick of time there. That one floated. Looked like, I mean, it was on point. You threw to a contest. It was a throw to a contest. But Kenneth Taylor had to go and win that contest, and he did.
Well, very close to the tape now are Westcoast. So Mountain Beaches, sorry. And that is a solid score for the player who got the block, the number 26, Kenneth Taylor, with an interesting use of a snood as a headband, but I am here for it.
Yeah, why not? Snood. better than nude on the head, I guess. Kenneth Taylor with a double happiness there, but it was the number 37 shirt of Rafael Carnal who broke down the line and received that huck. He got the assist as well, but he really broke that play open. There's the other look at it as you see those waves crashing in the back. Small waves around here, Southside Mediterranean. Just a little tide pushing towards the coast. Nothing surfable, or I might have the headset guarded by a guest.
Well, you know, you can do a little body surfing, I think, with the swell action that we've got on today. Though the conditions are much calmer. It was a bit choppier yesterday, but some choppy action from Kenneth Taylor with that double happiness. The cardiologist, hailing originally from Atlanta, was part of the AFDC COVID task force, which sounds very military, but on the medical advisory committee and team cardiologist for the Atlanta hustle. So West Coast's turn to come out on offense for only the first time in this game. Solid work, moving it through to Visser, the Colombian-Dutch player. And that's a lovely stamp on the front corner of the end zone. Nice and easy and quick offense for West Coast, the first time they are coming out on offense. And 2 female matching players is the call for the next point. Let's get another look at that lovely flowing action across. So Hedstrom with the throw.
Was that a Hedstrom to Hedstrom connection?
I think it might have been, you know.
Well, West Coast looked good there. They were actually mismatched for gender on that point. They had 2 women on while Mountain Beachers only had 1. And Sofia Pereira calling from the sideline, no, we're only supposed to have 1 woman on. The poll was already up. It went, and the 2 female matching player line convert their goal. Well done by West Coast. So now having a search for the brick mark. I think they've found it.
Well, I think it's the other way now in terms of, I think it's Mountain Beaches that have 2 female athletes on for their offense. Whereas West Coast just the 1. But we kind of love to see it. The leading throw up line though, a little bit too much for Mathieu Badeau. And that's going to be another opportunity for West Coast to break. A much shorter roster, but of course this is the first game of the day. Day 2 here, Pereira. Now seeking opportunities, has the connection with the resets. Opportunity beckons towards the back of the end zone. Hedstrom's going to run it down, but he's going to run out of room first. A nice idea, but Blom just overcooked that one.
Yeah, Tommy Blom had the separation, but the backhand, too much muscle into it, and it gets away right out the back. West Coast are going to have to wait at least 1 more turn, if nothing more, until they get a break conversion available again.
Well, this game currently going the way we expected based on the present standings. Nice high grab underneath. Oh, loads of room. Again, the turnover comes on the overshot. So that's 1 each so far.
Yeah, they're going back and forth here like a ping pong game. Swing your head one side to the other. but this will sort itself out. But these are the longer points. They always feel like they count for more momentum-wise.
Yeah, that mentality change as we see Hedstrom pop it off and look to go upfield. Not attacking with too much pace, but now he will make his way towards the end zone. Komschlo puts a lead up. Oh, and that's a little bit of a squeeze. Can he bring it down? Woo! Oh, what a fantastic defensive pressure that was. But the sneak through from Jonas Helen, and he comes up with possession. Hides the disc for quite some time. So 3-1 now, the score for Westcoast. This is all about trying to keep themselves in the third spot in the pool, as they will have to face Rainbow Warriors and Hurt, two very difficult opponents in the power pool stages. And they carry the result forward. Because I have to say, Steph, we did see Rainbow Warriors and Hurt on the live stream yesterday, and I can't say I favour either team for winning both of those matchups.
That would be a big asking. I think Rainbow Warriors, they may have better chances if they can be at their best for a game like that. Then they could steal that win, let's say. Anything's a steal when you go through the Flower Power pools and you go through as the low playing against the two high teams. It would be considered a steal. But that's why this opportunity exists, to be able to steal, to see if the weighting and the seeding was accurate enough or not. So that chance will exist, and let's see who gets the best opportunity. Will it be Westcoast or will it be the Mountain Beachers?
Indeed, well, we're starting to get into the spot where we pick games in live. That one's going to be way too low, though. It's going to be picked off by Nicholas Persson. Now, can Westcoast do anything with it in this defensive opportunity? Hedstrom looking for options. Has the reset coming underneath in the form. Oh, that's a little bit overshot. This reaching arm of Colby Smith tries to connect with it, but not to be. So Mountain Beachers with possession once more. Ackerman squeezes it up the line. Just about reaches Richardson, who throws to the back corner. After two hotly contested passes, it's a very free Patrick Zinke who grabs that goal in the end, and a hold for Mountain Beachers. 3-2 the score. They keep themselves in this, but at the moment it seems like Westcoast, with their hand on the tiller, really controlling the pace of this game. Although they are missing opportunities left, right and centre to get defensive breaks here, Steph.
Yeah, you know, to be able to put it away early is the way that goes when you get defensive break chances early in the game and they are not converted or capitalized upon. You let the other team stay in the game, stick around, and Mountain Beachers have done just that. They've evaded the big early separation. 4-1 feels a lot different than 3-2. Even with 2 breaks against, Westcoast will start the second half with the disc, so they have created the advantage here, but Mountain Beachers doing just enough to ensure that that advantage isn't overpowering and, you know, caving down on them.
Solid early movement and a Komschlo single-handed delicate grab. Hedstrom with the scuba over the pack. See how much room Fredrik Hedstrom is being given underneath. Delicate high releases, making use of a light breeze, which in a compare and contrast to yesterday is actually going from right to left as we have it on our camera views. Of course, 3-view action. Oh, big old layout, lots of pressure from the Mountain Beaches defense. But nice and calm and patient, and there, just with a straight flat cut across the front of the end zone, Fredrik Hedström collecting another goal for Westcoast. So 4-2 they lead in the early stages of this final initial pool stage play.
Yeah, nice bailout catch there by Hedström before he ended up catching the goal. The layout just meters in front, keeping that possession alive, ensuring they do their business on their offensive possessions. They have been slick. The only 2 times they've been called upon to hold, they've done it cleanly, no turns. So their O-line or their receiving line looking very tidy out there, as is Sofia Pereira, the Bula president, giving us some love as she walks by.
She's got a lot of love to give. A love for Ultimate, a love for people. And
a love for life.
Indeed. And you know, you as they say, you get what you give. Got a lot of love for Sophia and the work she puts in. As you can see us casually sat here in the sun on the sideline. It's a very warm day in Sardinia, but not quite as humid as yesterday's conditions.
Well, that rain last night helped that for sure. A heavy overnight rain, but that's the right time for it when we're here for a tournament.
Absolutely. Thankfully, all of our equipment was in the tents here, but that's a bit too intense as Yaman tries to run that down. But a little bit too much juice on it. So another opportunity for Westcoast. Can they convert? Steva, the Canadian, pops through. Nice and flat. And a little layout for Lorentzon. Well, knee fall, just to make sure that possession is retained. Pops forward. Lorentzon again, just finding all of the best spaces to be in. Steven out. Takes a nice one, a little bit of readjustment required, and a pick will give us a pause as Colby Smith surveys his options. Not really any movement in the end zone, but towards it, charging to the front cone, but the drop because he only goes with one hand. Stefan Hedström unable to collect that goal that looked oh so nice.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, it was thrown just enough in front. The one hand, you kind of get it, but I think throwing both hands at that for all you're worth, and that changes outcome.
Oh, that's a gorgeous little layout to retain possession for Mountain Beaches. And off they stream into the center field. McCroskey doing what he needs to just keep possession secure. Odermatt. Zinka now. Oh, but that one sinks far away, just off the hands of Andreas Odermatt. And it'll be Smith to pick up. Not everyone else ready yet. Nearly an opportunity to poach off there for Schneider, but he decides to just stay honest. Steven now. Goes for the up line, but there is the sneaky peel off and block for Zinka, who immediately runs to the end zone. Has Steve matching up. Great job of shut the down. Pick elsewhere on the field. But you've got to love Susie Steve's defense, just staying and marshalling that end zone. See if we get a little bit of support in the form of Smith, fellow Canadian. Oh, big old break around, plenty of space, and the defense gets broken through for a hold for Mountain Beaches. But that very nearly was a break.
Great break throw by Zinka. The whole team was assuming that he was going to hold that force, and as soon as he got around, that break side score cut wide open by Schneider. Looked very easy by the time the conversion happened. There's another look at the replays. See a couple of the possession savers. And you think back, there's the Zinka denial before. Here is the break to score. And that mark, yeah, got around just a little bit too easy. Should have been shadowing the shoulder with more of the center of the body, I suppose. But you think back to the Hedstrom drop in the end zone there off the right hand, the one-handed there. The break was oh so available for Westcoast. And to see it come back the other way, those ones hurt a little bit. I mean, they hurt enough for sure from a team perspective of pain.
Although they hurt considerably less than conceding a break, which Westcoast have yet to do in this game. But this is now when Mountain Beaches need to really turn on the jets and apply the pressure. Trailing 2 breaks in this game so far, which they really do need to win to try and keep themselves with a chance at the championship bracket. Visser shooting up this near sideline. Hedstrom still rises, but easily resets. A lot of the time, players are sort of getting each other's way, but there's no one in the way of that scoring cut to the front cone. Just a straight speed race. Jonas Komschuk just comes in and collects. So that will be 5-3 for Westcoast over Mountain Beaches.
Yeah, nice point there. Good use of the whole team. I think everybody got a touch on that. Any open cut was respected, and the finishing touches there made to look quite easy. Kolmshaw had a lot of room. Here it is again, 3 steps as the trailing defender got attacked by that sand monster we've seen a couple times to make it look even more open than 3 steps earlier.
So just over half of the time has expired in this game. So we get the little announcement over the tannoy system. So Westcoast currently sitting pretty, 2 breaks up. Can they grab themselves another to make it 6-3? Of course, 45-minute game slots here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. See Yaman seeking options. Pereira doing a good job of being an active force. Now dancing across the sand. So there's little yards. Little gainer there, lots of momentum, but nobody exploding out towards the deep space. Yaman now following. Just squeezing it up this far sideline are Mountain Beaches. Good job of following their passes every time they throw through. Nice visionary swing, exploiting the space given to Kenneth Taylor. I need to stop the break side action. And just recover. But is switching and changing in the stack. I like this defense from Westcoast.
Violation called disc space. I'm not sure what it was. Either disc space or a fast count there on the mark.
Well, a high release immediately after the stoppage is going to give Steve McCroskey his first stat of the game. But yeah, I think violation maybe if obviously you're if there are marking infractions being called and the stall count not dropping in the way it should be, then maybe that's why the violation occurred. Of course, at this veteran level, the rules knowledge and use is exceptional, you'd like to think. Although, maybe, is it a problem knowing the older rule set stuff?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of that comes in. Some of the rules get clouded based on, you go all the way back to the UPA 9th edition that the whole world used to use before WFDF integrated rules, before new beach sets of rules. Now there are, rules surveys that are mandatory for senior division, open age divisions are not mandatory for these grandmasters, great grandmasters, so they might be still thinking about rules from back in the day, even though there have been new iterations of them that they maybe have heard or known, but not studied and put into play.
Well, Westcoast with a lovely layout grab on the far sideline for Komskog. Centres back to Steva. That one a little bit high, the battle, and a foul call. I think that perhaps a little bit too much touch from McCroskey. Actually, no, it's not McCroskey. That's Rafael Carnal. Visser on this near sideline. One of the later additions to the Westcoast squad. Smith now trying to find a reset. Helen. Oh, the dad backhand on Sam. We love to see it. Helen comes in again. Oh, and I think a lens might have popped out of his sunglasses. They got hit by the disc.
He's got the pirate eye patch sunglasses going on now. Lens popped out. And taking the equipment off to have it fixed.
Need more sporty visory sunglasses.
The turnover will stand. After taking one in the face.
Well, this would be the first Mountain Beaches break if they can convert it, and that looks pretty darn close. Just behind the tape, but what a fantastic shot to hit Carnal on that front corner. Although a bit too much clustering now. Very intense defending. A little bit of a bump afterwards, but a gentlemanly discussion thereafter. Carnal now, point and shoot. Oh, and that is a break for Mountain Beaches.
Right back in it with that one. The huck that kicked things off there needs to get its just desserts. A big throw by the number 70 shirt, Mathieu Baudou. And that really gave them the chance they needed. A odd circumstance for the turnover with the pirate sunglasses popping out. But it came, and despite there still being an advantage for Westcoast, they've got 2 breaks. This really tightens things up, and on the scoreboard, as tight as they get, 5 apiece right now.
Indeed. Well, as the athletes take a time out on the field, we will too in the booth. Don't go anywhere, folks. This game will continue after these short messages.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with UltiTV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
My mom and I made a cookbook. Traditional recipes passed down through the generations.
They cater very well to modern kitchens.
Our recipes come from all over Italy, primarily from Le Marche in Sicily, where my parents come from. 2 of the best culinary regions.
All the regions of Italy have their own signature food.
Buying this book will make you smarter and better looking.
Mannaggia Stefano, just promote the book.
Just search Mama's Italian Classics anywhere you can buy books online and get your hands on a copy.
About to resume play here as Mountain Beaches, you see on the screen before you, calling lines. They're doing the whole coach managing thing. I mean, they have got a lot of experience in terms of the Swiss Ultimate players. A couple of Bern folks. I mean, some of you might recognize the surname Stauffer. You have the brother of Lawrence Stauffer, who's Thomas Stauffer is, he says, is 7 years younger and almost 7 times better. I'm not sure I'd say it's quite that margin, Thomas. You've been bringing some good stuff up, but a real mix of Swiss nationals and some expats from the States and some current North American players on this Mountain Beaches roster. Whereas Westcoast, a much more smaller fair, a lot more kind of actual Swedish talent on it, just by virtue of the fact that it's a smaller collection of players. Although Hedstrom currently residing, originally from Gothenburg, the island of Tjörn, the 6th largest island in Sweden, on the west coast in the province of Borsund, 1 hour north of Gothenburg. So maybe that's where the West Coast name comes from.
No surprise to see great grandmasters playing from Gothenburg. That was the original venue for the first ever World Club Championships in Sweden, Gothenburg, 1983, if my memory serves correct. And so, you know, again, these tournaments back in the day, they served as great inspiration, especially if they got to film or well-distributed photography. Speaking of such, as we continue to push this broadcast, we love the way that we've been able to integrate with our viewers, our fans, and our community members. And we would love that to continue. We love getting a lot of international exposure at these tournaments from our normal viewers coming from Europe. And we do have 2 European teams here, but we would love for you to like and subscribe. That's the easy stuff to do. And if you can do a little bit more, push a couple buttons, get on to ULTI.TV, find our Patreon page, and become a patron. You can do it for just about any amount. The minimum is peanuts,
I think
shall
it's
we say?
€3.
3
Something
euros.
like €3.
It's like a pack of peanuts. I mean, pistachios are definitely more expensive.
Considerably less than a beer in most parts of Sweden, if my memory of visiting that wonderful
Definitely
nation.
Switzerland.
Yeah, definitely Switzerland. We were in Switzerland actually for the Elite Invite in Bern. Much windier affair than this beach tournament, interestingly enough. But and big shout out to John Greenfield in the live chat, getting involved. If you want to get involved as well, you can spend money, or you can just spend a few kilojoules of your life's energy by banging that like, subscribe, and the thumbs up button on this game.
I know John Greenfield's a patron. He has been for a very long time. And no surprise he likes this shirt. He was a member of this team, Fat Chili, that did some great work in Lecco. Finishing 4th place, which mildly disappointing at the end.
Well, I'm sure many of these players out on the beaches in Sardinia will also have gotten Lecco'd during their storied careers. Colby Smith now, big backhand across, connecting with Nata Visser. Of course, Visser being Dutch for fish. Plenty of nice backhand around breaks though, and West Coast punch in the hold after half, consolidating their advantage back ahead only by 1.
And a little bit of deliberation after the last point because it was a timeout and not the halftime. Now it is the halftime. They've got to do a side switch, and that means West Coast are going to receive again.
Well, beautiful scenes, stunning here in Sardinia. You can understand why this is such a desirable holiday destination. And of course, at the great Grandmasters level, there's no reason to end up somewhere on a random field site, somewhere random. Being at these locations is just a delight.
We don't want to be at the North Canadian beaches for a great Grandmasters World Beach Championship of any acronym. The Southern Mediterranean beaches, great choice. Keep up the good work on your location selection.
It does seem, though, that if you want to guarantee historically poor weather in any location, just host an ultimate tournament there. Of course, World Championships of recent years have been repeatedly plagued by lightning, by just horrendous torrential flooding, all sorts of wonderful mischief. Although this year, the European Championships in seniors, maybe the pro move is to move the schedule around and keep the weather gods guessing up until the final moment.
Yeah, biblical type weather.
As anyone who played the Masters Championships, World Masters in Limerick, can tell you, it's not really a place known for its sunshine. Sardinia, however, beautiful, and that's a lovely catch. Steph Patso getting involved, signaling that, yeah, that looked pretty good to us, and we are closer to the ground than anybody else by virtue of being sat behind our commentary booth. But let's get another look at it.
Oh, second look. I'm not so as sure as I was in the live look. I was pointing fingers up from the live look saying, yeah, that's up. But the replay, here it is slowed down. Oh, I think that does touch the ground, but they're still playing.
Well, indeed they do, because actually in most Ultimate games you don't get a replay of the video, and Helen will put that one in the letterbox for the streaking form of Nicolas Persson. And that is another on the board for Westcoast. 7-5 now their lead. And without the benefit of a slow-mo replay, call is up on the field. And they will carry on. So Persson grabbing that goal. Carnegie USC from 1990 to 2003 before coming across and playing for Westcoast. This is his first season playing for the team, the number 7. But he played the juniors division back in 92 and 93, which I was in existence at that time, Steph, but only just.
Sorry, which year are we talking about?
The juniors representation for Sweden from Nicolas Persson back. It's a small ultimate playing nation, but has always been very strong. Very strong on beach in particular, certainly. So I think not quite. Actually, no, I tell a lie. There were indeed some great Grandmasters eligible players on the women's Swedish roster that took gold last season in Portimao, and then came and represented with the wonderful Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden, a world powerhouse for many, many years in ultimate grass or beach.
But it's Mountain Beaches, the Swiss, who are on the charge. Yaman, solid swing across to Schneider. Oh, that's going to escape the hands of the offense and be collected and snaffled by Fredrik Hedström. Who now cuts under, nice grind. No one really making too much move in the deep space. They're going to have to be a little bit more expansive with their legs. Trying to change the angle of attack. There's a big old poach off to be exploited. It comes a little bit late, but well kept by Colby Smith. You can see, I think, the shorter roster starting to take its toll, but they only have to keep playing for just shy of 6 more minutes. Oh my goodness, what was that release point from Colby Smith?
I mean, the dad backhand and some. The dad backhand inside out blade, I guess we'll call that.
That was bizarre. But it turns over, and Mountain Beaches have the disc back on offense, and it's just an easy grind to the front cone for Asli Yaman, who pops her first stat on the board.
A good mark there. The fatigue showed on the throw. Tried to get away with far too much, and Mountain Beachers make them pay for it. It was a tough looking throw, one of the more awkward releases I've seen in a little while, and it still almost had a chance to be received, but Mountain Beach is happy to take advantage of that one and bring it back to within 1. 7-6 now, the West Coast lead, with time ticking away. We can't have too much left. We will confirm as soon as this replay finishes. 4 minutes, 34 seconds remaining.
So a timeout being called quite late between points, or attempting to be time called.
Contested timeout.
That's an interesting one. A live in-play timeout when you have no timeouts is +2 to the stall count. But yeah, there's no real penalty if you try and call a timeout between points and you don't have any left. But Mountain Beaches will play on. Badu with the pull. That's going to land just out of bounds. Colby Smith from the sideline taking a much-deserved rest, indicating that the disc went out of bounds relatively early. So a gift for West Coast. to try and maintain their 2-point lead.
Yeah, I think smart to take advantage of that pull that did go out very early in its flight path, and now a short field for Westcoast.
Jonas Helen getting us started. Started playing in 1985. Visser now has an upline cut available, takes it. Nice easy one through to Stever. Susie Stever shoots but misses the target. Person was there, but there's a little bit too much of a squeeze. Spato looking for it, but that's a hand block, a big old piece. Wonderful stuff for Jonas Helen, and he celebrates in style. A pre-stall by Mathieu Berdo. Got to call the lay of game first, by my knowledge. But that's a high release that again misses the intended target. Maybe a bit of a discussion about contact between the two athletes in the end zone.
Yeah, Visser working in that small space did find enough space to get open, so it seemed, but not sure where the foul came in. We will see if we can work anything else out, but it's back in the hands of Westcoast.
High release from Hedstrom. Being given plenty of space to just get those resets in. A little bit of clustering from the female matching athletes on the soft side of the disc. Helen now. Similar lead pass, connecting with Stever. Things looking a little static. Oh, that is quite the ambitious throw. A really solid idea. Visser is a very fast athlete, but unfortunately not quite that fast.
No, Visser's been nearly seamless this game. I don't think she has had a turnover credited to her. Everything that's gone through has been just about perfect, but trying to seek her out in the back of the end zone with that much behind it is asking a whole lot even of someone who's having a great game.
Oh, well, trying to connect with the separation deep ends up slipping out of Mathieu Badeau's hands in quite a strange way. But I'm not sure what just occurred there. I was having a look down at my roster, and I think just someone has a case of the slippery hands. Badeau getting up. Oh, a macked on, but great backup defense from Susie Stever to just ensure that it ends up back in Westcoast hands. Stever streaking towards the deep space. No one anywhere near, but clustering underneath is going to prevent her from attacking it. Solid defense being played by Wendy Prosser. So can Helen now pop one in? Just going to take the easy reset to Person. This point really starting to grind through, and that will be time expiring right about now. Things a little bit clustered towards the near side of the disc. Oh, there is plenty of separation on the break side though, and that is a fabulous bit of work. Nata Visser grabbing the goal, and we will confirm for you folks if the time cap did indeed go off during that point, and if it will be a game to 9 perhaps, or to be determined.
That much coming at us for now. Another nice score by Westcoast. Visser finding the open space on the open side, and the throw easy to get there after the blown coverage.
Well, finally Westcoast really attacking that break side. They tried to run it with their legs, but they have such a significantly shorter roster. But we have it confirmed, it is indeed a game 2-9 at this stage, so time expired during that last point. They finished it off and then add 1 to the highest tally. So it will be a game 2-9. Westcoast with their first effort. They're going to have a couple of match points to spare if they should need them. Hedstrom taking this point off. Or at least one of the Hedstroms. Of course, you've got two available. Staffan Hedstrom will be on. Frederick taking a well-deserved rest on the sideline. So used to be on the pitch that he's not behind our 3-meter player lines.
Yeah, make sure you are behind those lines at all times, those of you at home watching.
Practice it at training. My biggest recommendation to all Ultimate athletes in their playing careers is to, if you want to prepare yourself for a stream game, I say it's my biggest recommendation, it's not. There are other things you can also do to get yourself mentally prepared for the hot lights of a live stream, but it definitely helps knowing that you're going to be at tournaments that have these athlete lines, and what a delight it is. I've played so many tournaments where the pitches are basically bumping up against each other, which means if you're making layout plays, making greatest, it can come a little bit nasty and wonky occasionally. Bukowski, read backing pass. Match coverage being played by Westcoast. A little bit of sagging in the lanes though. He's happy to play through whichever combinations. Odermatt seeking opportunity, swings back to Lance. Just giving it back and forth on that far sideline. Thinking about the inside. Nice work around. Taylor not having to really move much. Going more for the shoulder shimmies than the real pivots around. Just about escaping. This is really great pressure from Westcoast, causing so many high stall counts by closing down the downfield space. Lovely layout grab to keep possession alive for Richardson. Where's that Taylor? They're difficult to decipher whether it's a 20 or 26.
That's a 20, I believe.
Oh, but he throws it away. The conservation of greatness. And Westcoast looking a little bit tired,
For
but
sure.
having put in a lot of effort on defense.
But that is the bend, but don't break. Put everything into the defensive effort here. They want to win it now. They don't need another pull. Let's see if they can put it together.
Well, Blom's going to take on the early deep shot. Oh, and just about missed by Natavissa. A really difficult disc to read, but there's a foul call on the throw, so we may well get an action replay.
Let's see it again. Natavissa putting on a heck of a chase there. Throwing the body on the line, doing everything possible. That really just came right over her right shoulder as she was spinning the head around. Didn't have much of a chance, but did everything possible to make it look like she had a chance.
If she'd have gotten that, Steph, that would have been quite the way to end this game.
Oh, goodness.
With a bit of pizzazz, bit of swaz for your action. Call from the sideline saying you have to make the same throw. Nope, it's Colby Smith underneath.
Old school rules. Oh!
But it bobbles out of Staffan Hedstrom's hands and back into the golden sand. So picked up Richardson. Odermatt. Squeezes it up that line and just about makes it past the hands of Jonas Komschuk. And so the first match point expires for Westcoast. They have 2 more to get to 9 before Mountain Beaches do. Are we going to get our first universe point finish on our live stream? Steph, what do you reckon?
I reckon, I don't know, they put everything into that defensive effort like we said. They have enough turnover though. There's 1 player staying out there. So I think Westcoast has been good enough all game on O that they're going to maintain that composure and put this one in.
Well, thus far, percentage-wise, West Coast's offence has had a conversion rate of 83%, but only 66% for perfect conversions of their 6. And they've been coming out on offence.
Great pull to start things off.
Absolutely. So Helen seeking options, solid sagging into the lane from Rafael Canal. Steva. Or Steva, might be. But Helen now. Solid slide into the sand from Persson. Oh, that is just lovely flow, lateral movement. Everyone moving. Tell you what, there's plenty of energy that's been left in the rip down from Tommy Blom, the only player crossing over from the previous point. Susie Steva, oh, that's a beautiful break around, and that is game for West Coast. We are denied a universe point finish, but that was a really lovely bit of flow to finish off. West Coast take the victory into the second power pool stage, carried across against Mountain Beaches.
Susie Stever putting it upon herself there, making that break work, seeing the chance for glory and taking it. And West Coast stretch it open just far enough, avoiding a universe point finish, win this one 9-7. And they will, as Hannah said, carry across that victory into the Power Flower pool.
Well, it will be Sweden on Sweden action to try and see who will be going through into the top championship bracket in the power pool stages then, as these two teams will be facing up against Hurt and Rainbow Warriors in the secondary power pool stages. But for myself, Hannah Pendlebury, for Stefan Rapazzo, and for all of these wonderful players on the Golden Sands in Sardinia, it's been a pleasure to bring you this game. We have one more for our morning slot, our 11 o'clock round, Rundown versus Team Finland. Tune in for that one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.